all that. And I just want to ask that what else can be done? Is it that we are not doing enough to actually,
You're asking me a question you should answer. You make it your research focus. Now, but but this study, because this study is going to be secondary analysis. You may not have some data, but you can, because UNODC published a work around youth and around drugs in Nigeria, and they have a couple of data. But let's talk about youth, about that issue in a little bit of way. There's several factors that are driving this. Normally, naturally, young people are curious. If you are not curious, then there's something missing in your being a young person. I used to tell this story. I was once at a meeting in the University of Washington, and talking with colleagues who we work together in adolescent health. And everybody was talking about their young youth. They were talking about their experience. Someone will say, oh, I used to smoke marijuana. Someone will say, I used to take a lot of drink. Of course. And then I was quiet. He said, Shegun, what did you do with your youth? Are you not drinking? Are you not smoking? I said, no. He said, what did you then do with your youth? A time of youth, now that's a very loaded question. I won't. Of course, I've told you part of what I did with my youth, organizing big time parties. But the point here is this: to be young means to be adventurous. What stops all of us in a way is the environment we are in. If you are with parents that like to ban me, like they will just give you one dirty slap. They will recondition your brain and your thinking, and your adventure will become, something else. But the point I'm making is to be adventurous natural. To use drug can start as an adventure. To want to know, to want to feel, to want to experience. The danger is you don't know we experience and then becomes stuck. That's why it's always better not to stop. But that's one aspect. So if you think that the youth inquisitiveness, and then you look at other factors that surround it. If you are inquisitive and you don't have young people around you who are smoking, who are using drugs, your inquisitiveness will not take you to drug. I don't know if it makes sense. It will take you to other things, but not drug. And that's why in adolescent health, we always talk about both the risk factor and the protective factor. So the way to reason about it is to say, what are the risk factors that are increasing drug? And it is, if you go back here, you can answer that question. Look, families are breaking apart. Young people are becoming very disoriented. They don't have parents to talk to. Parents are, even when they are there, they are not there. They are there, in physical. They are not there. And when young people have questions, there are no people to go to. So they go to their friends. They will say, if you take drugs, you just, I'm sure, I don't know what when I was young, when we were trying to prepare for WAEC, we were trying to see what will keep us reading. They told me, one of the solutions they gave me is, put your leg inside water. I don't know if you tried it before. I did it. My father woke me in the second morning. My leg was in the water. They said we use this amphetamine. No, seriously, I didn't know what amphetamines. Seriously, I tried a few of them. Because the idea was, we wanted to still. You want to pass. You need to read for longer hours. We didn't know. But maybe if I had gone to my parents and said, Daddy, with this, if my daughter comes to me, don't let me talk about the father. Let him be resting, where he's resting. If my daughter comes to me and say, if I put my leg in water, what will happen? I will say, you know what? I will wake you up second morning. Just like my father. She won't bother to do it because she asked me and I have an answer. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So, the physical presence, the school is one big issue. You talk about school connectedness. That every young person that has a teacher he can trust, or a teacher that believes in him or her, is likely to be less deranged. Sometimes we do things because we want to impress the teacher. I must not come second. Mr. Bankole won't like, So when you take a frame like this, then you understand where the gaps are by thinking in a very broad. So your question is, yes, it's not because social media is making us know alone. Of course, social media is making us know But the truth is that the prevalence is truly increasing over time because many of the factors that are protective are being removed, many of the risk factors are increasing, and the natural thing we do is process. But I always think that what's more important is to say, what can we do? I'll share one example with you, what we do in Unimed, which I'm not sure how many schools are doing. In this school, when you get admission, you are checked for drug. And every year, every student must be tested for drug. When you are coming in is when we test you the first time. If you are smart and you know we are going to test you, all you need to do is stay off drug for 30 days or something. Half-life. But we also understand that. So if you have a disciplinary problem of any sort, you'll be tested for drug. So that is your common sense. That's what can be your drug sense. But outside that, every student is tested every year randomly. They just come to class, they pick you. Wow. And go and be tested. And when you are tested and you are positive, we don't drive you from school. We send you to rehabilitation. We only send you away if you don't agree or your parents don't agree to go through rehabilitation. You know the interesting thing, we started last year. When we started, a number of students came and said, don't test me. I am using drug. Let me tell you my... You know, just that. Some people are like, they can come and pick me now. So it's discouraging people. We are putting in protective factors. To help young people know that we can stay off. So now what you are doing this new year is that you are going to sign a legal agreement. You know, as you are coming to school. This is what you go through, this is what you go through. And I just give that example. Not to, I mean, we are not a big school like Ife, maybe 35,000 students. But the point is, if you all can do small things around the circle, I can tell you many more stories. I mean, I'm leading a group called, in our church, I belong to, which church do I belong to, sir? Anyway, in the Aka church, this is my original church, we have a work called NAWADA, Nigerian Anglican War Against Drug and Addiction. And it's a national work. Now we have trained people in every diocese in this country to be able to train other people. So the men are talking about it, the women are talking about it, the youth are talking about it. And so the point for me is there are always things we can do. Right, there's a problem. But many times we talk about the problem and we don't talk about what can we do to solve this problem. I have not answered your question. I hope I have answered this. Yes, all right, let's close. So when you go and do something in your church. Yes, and something in your mosque. By the way, I personally believe that the churches and the mosques as part of our greatest opportunities to turn young people around. In this country, almost everybody goes to church, even though all of us are the same. You know, church doesn't change us, you know, mosque doesn't change us. But it can become very mighty instrument to change people. Young people that are religious are less likely to engage in drugs. They are less likely to engage in premarital sex and many other things. You know, so it's important. All right, let's take a break.
Thank you, sir. How
many more lectures do I have? One more, right? When is that start? In 10 minutes time or 15? Or do they go for lunch or should we close for today?
I was thinking,
what's the next one? Who is KSA? King Sonade? It's not here today. Oh, PSA. PSA is the actual answer.